morning, gentlemen markets. It's me as usual, David Dotan. Jake Bentley's on the line. And what are we doing today? We're going to go through the usual. We're going through crypto, FX, and stocks. Okay, so let's get going. What's going on with crypto? As we know, we had a dip to the downside. All right, the whole market went to the downside. Why? Because the Biden administration announced a heavy tax, potential 44 to 80% on capital gains. Of course, there's liquidation that comes with that. Okay, but with that being said, the market's coming back to the upside. We are seeing buy pressure, and that's as expected. Okay, so Jake is going to go ahead, take it over with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I'm going to go ahead and take back control. Jake.
Okay, so Bitcoin, very bullish on Bitcoin. We can see on the monthly time frame, just bullish engulfing candles. What do we see here with these pins? Just exhaustion to the downside, minor exhaustion before a move to the upside. All these exhaustions just mainly gave people a chance to buy into Bitcoin again. So let's take it down a time frame. We can take it down to the daily. What do we see? We see our monthly upper and monthly lower zones. Price has had a little bit of battle in between these zones. So what do we know? We know that we see major sell pressure here and major buy pressure here. What are these? Our weekly upper and weekly lower zones. So what's happening right now? We can zoom in. So at the moment, price has broken its weekly. So what we're going to look for, we're going to look for exhaustion back to this zone and then a move to the upside, quick in, quick out to this monthly zone, because we know that we are going to see major sell pressure at this zone. So that's Bitcoin team. We are going to be monitoring Bitcoin very closely. So keep your eyes on the signals channel and the traffic lights channel, and you will get a signal on Bitcoin. Next, we're going to take it to Ethereum. Okay, so Ethereum team, we know that we broke previous high and we've just seen massive moves to the upside. We know that we're bullish on Ethereum and Bitcoin. Basically the same as all the cryptos. So let's take it down a time frame. We know the story on the monthly time frame. What do we have here? So previous high, monthly upper here, monthly lower, because price broke this monthly upper to the upside. What do we have as well? We have our dailies, but it looks as though that we might actually have an opportunity to buy Ethereum once it breaks this monthly to the upside. So what do we always see? We always see a break, exhaustion, and then a move to the upside. So what we're going to see here at this zone looks as though we're seeing sell pressure. Once price does break to the upside, we're going to have exhaustion and then a move to the upside on Ethereum. Again, team, this will be posted in the signals channel and you will get a green light on this soon on Ethereum. We are going to be watching closely. So definitely put this one on your watch list and we are going to move on. Okay, so back to you now, David.
All right, Jake, thanks for that, buddy. Okay, so as Jake mentioned, what we know is that Bitcoin is extremely overpriced or at a high price. So anybody new coming into the market, they would rather own a full unit of something rather than a decimal place of a unit of something. Additionally, Ethereum and the altcoins percentage-wise have been outperforming Bitcoin. That makes sense due to the value of each coin. Thus, we're having liquidation from Bitcoin that's spreading into Ethereum and all the other altcoins. Okay, so before we take it to the charts, what do we know? We know that there's an Africa event going on. So we're going to take it to the member platform, to the news. Okay, Cardano will scroll up here. There, Cardano Africa. Okay, so what we can see here is that they have an African special on April 29th. Okay, I believe that we're going to see some news that pushes price to the upside. And this makes sense. Why? Because Africa has a lot of countries in there that have volatile currencies. Okay. Inflation is very high, just like there is in some countries in South America, like Venezuela. So when you have currencies that fluctuate up and down and up and down, one day it's strong, one day it's weak, hyperinflation, crypto is a much more stable market. Okay, Africa, crypto is going to be huge for the continent of Africa. So I'm really interested in what's going to happen here on the 29th of April at 4:30 UTC time. Okay, and I do believe that it will send price, or I should say, create more volume to the upside with Cardano. So we're going to take it to the charts now. Okay. And what do we know? We know that our fundamental direction is to the upside. So that's our current, which means we're only looking for entry where? To the upside, correct? That's right. All right. Monthly time frame as usual. Here's our monthly upper zone, monthly lower zone. For those of you that are new to the team, zones are just area of battle between buy and sell pressure on a horizontal level. Okay. So what do we see here? We see buy pressure, break sell pressure at our monthly lower zone, straight shot to the upside. Not much else to show here on the monthly. Let's take it to the weekly. Okay. So as we can see here, buy pressure broke sell pressure at its monthly lower zone, giving it free range to its monthly upper zone, where then it's going to reach its next battle between sell pressure. We see sell pressure protecting the upside. Okay. And we see buy pressure protecting the downside. So when we have that, what happens here? This is called consolidation, sell protection, buy protection. Okay. And it's important to understand that many times price will make a move to the upside and come back for what I call exhaustion, what we call exhaustion. So after a push, there's many times an exhaustion that makes its way to its 50, its 61.8% fibs. In this case, that's not the case. In this case, it's showing us that buy protection is keeping price to the upside, but yet sellers want to come back for exhaustion. That's not the case. So we're only looking to the upside, right? Because we expect bullish movement. So let's take it to the upside here. We can remove this for a sec. So we're here on the daily time frame. This is our monthly upper, monthly lower. We know that there's mid-range area of horizontal sell and buy sensitivity being our zone. Okay, this we can call this our daily zone since we're on the daily time frame. Let's change the color actually. Okay. So here we have our daily zone. So what does that tell us? Okay, right now buy pressure is in battle with sell pressure at our mid-range zone. As we can see, this is a horizontal area of sell sensitivity, of buy sensitivity. What was former resistance is now support. What was former support is now resistance. This is an area of battle between buyers and sellers. So we see buy protection at our monthly lower zone. That's expected. Okay, strong move to the upside. Let's take a look at that move to the upside at the 4H time frame. All right. Now, here we are on the 4-hour time frame. And again, after a push, there's an exhaustion. This move to the upside takes a lot of energy. Okay, why? Because buy pressure had to beat sell pressure and multiple lower time frame areas sensitivity to make its way up to its battle with sellers at its daily mid-range zone. So usually what will happen at this case after a strong push, there is usually an exhaustion. In this scenario, there wasn't even an exhaustion at previous high. What does that mean? Continuous buy pressure. There's a lot of buy pressure, a lot of buyers in the market right now. So let me ask you this question. If there's buy pressure at our monthly lower zone, assuming fundamentals stay the same, and it has, because why? We're expecting continuous growth on this pair, on this coin, okay? We know that what? It likely has free range to its monthly zone, which then it will reach its next area of significant sell pressure. So we expect buyers to beat sellers at our daily, giving us free range to our monthly upper. Now, what are we looking for, team? Okay, we're going to look for price action confirmation to the upside. So stay patient. You'll see this signal, obviously, along with the traffic light for entry, okay, on the membership platform. All right, next up, we're going to talk about PancakeSwap, okay, cake on the charts, okay? It is a Binance Smart Chain swap, okay, and these are gaining a lot in popularity. Meaning fundamental direction is what? To the upside. Current is to the upside. As more people in the market start to understand this concept, it's gaining popularity. Also, we have volume 2 coming out, okay, which is going to be good, even though, which is going to hold strong in terms of volume to the upside is what I'm trying to say. Now, here we are on the weekly time frame. Not much to show you on the monthly. It's literally just 3 candles. So we take it down to the weekly, but we can't see previous high, right? We do know that price spiked to the upside, strong to the downside. This is a previous high. Thus, we know that this is an area of sell pressure, which is our monthly upper zone. Here we have our monthly lower zone. Why? Horizontal buy pressure. Here we have our weekly upper, weekly lower. Why? Horizontal sell. And then buy pressure, resistance became support, and the same thing for our weekly upper zone. Let's now take it to the daily. Okay, here we are on the daily time frame. What do we see? We see price making a push to its weekly upper, exhaustion or impulse to the downside, break a previous high. That's another push. What's considered a push? Okay, for those of you that are new to the team, a push is when buy pressure breaks sell pressure to the upside, or sell pressure breaks buy pressure to the downside. Remember, at area of sensitivity, it is a battle between buyers and sellers. It is like Vikings running at one another, okay? So this is a push to the upside, or I should say, this is classified as a push to the upside because buy pressure beats sell pressure at an area of sensitivity, in this case being previous high and weekly lower zone. So what's after a push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside, continuational push, breaking previous high. Again, we did see some minor impulse at sell sensitivity, but the market came back in, again, showing us a tremendous amount of buy pressure, also protecting this higher high, which we can identify as an uptrend. So we'll go ahead and do that, okay? So we know what? This is what? A push. Why? Because buy pressure beats sell pressure. So what's after a push to the upside? Exhaustion to the downside. So my question to you is this. We know what? That the market wants to buy this coin. The market wants to buy it. Our fundamental direction is to the upside. So after a push, are we looking to enter to the downside? No, we're not, because we know that at any moment buyers can come in and shift price back to the upside. So what we're looking for here is a safe entry, and that's going to be at completion of exhaustion. Okay, so we're waiting for price to make its way down to former resistance, new support. Then we're looking for price action, entry confirmation for entry to the upside. Pay attention to our signals channel and the traffic light channel team. We're going to keep you posted on entry on this pair. Okay, the next coin we're going to talk about is one of the sushis, SushiSwap. Okay, V3 is coming out, which won't fix Ethereum gas fees. However, a new layer is supposed to be launched that should support the gas fee, or I should say help the gas fees. Okay, and also for those of you looking to buy one of the sushi pairs, sometimes, okay, the transaction doesn't go through, but yet you still get charged a gas fee. What I would do is increase your transaction to fast rather than slow to medium. That should be able to work or should support that. Okay, so on the monthly time frame, what do we see? Just bullish candles. Okay, every pin here is an exhaustion after a push. Okay, so as we go to the weekly time frame, what do we see? Okay, here again is what? Push, exhaustion. Here's a continuational push. Again, failing to break previous high, which is telling us that there's a tremendous amount of sell pressure at previous high, being our monthly upper zone. Let's now take it to the daily time frame. What do we see here? Okay, we see monthly up, monthly mid, monthly lower, just area of battle between buyers and sellers. Here we see the push to the upside, exhaustion, continuational push, breaking previous high and making new range. So after a push to the upside, we have exhaustion, and this is what's important. This continuational push failed to break previous high, telling us that there's sell pressure on multiple levels. This is why we began our new consolidation range. Sell pressure is protecting the upside, buy pressure is protecting the downside. Thus, we have consolidation. Now, it's extremely important to trade with the current, right? So we want to enter to the upside, not really to the downside, right? But it's important to also say that consolidation tells us a lot, right? Because if sell pressure was hypothetically able to break consolidation to the downside, which we don't believe will happen, it tells us that there's more sellers in the market than buyers, and we likely will make a new range. In this case, we'll believe there will be a break to the upside. So we're waiting for push, exhaustion, price action, entry confirmation for continuational move. Keep posted at the signals channel and the traffic light channel team. All right, we're now taking it over to the stock market. Okay, we have a big week in the market. It's earnings week. Okay, big names, big earnings. What's important to understand is that sometimes, even if earnings are positive, price moves to the downside. And why does that happen? It's because price, it's already priced into the market. Investors expect positive earnings. Thus, pre-announcement or pre-earnings, price will move up. Now, it's important to understand, because we're going to go through a couple of these on the charts. When price is extended, it's most likely, even if earnings are on par or slightly beat, that price moves to the downside due to mean reversion, coming back for exhaustion, getting closer to its moving averages before then a continuational move, right? Because that shows that there's overbought compared to oversold. Now, that doesn't mean it moves to the downside. If the market prices in optimism and earnings blow out expectations, there's still ways to the upside before price corrects itself. So we have to be aware of that. We're going to take it to Tesla. Okay, Tesla has 20% pullback from its original highs. Okay, strong delivery figures are coming out. Tesla's, a good. Okay, rewind up. Okay, we're going to take it. All right, we're going to take it to Tesla. All right, Tesla saw a 20% pullback from its highs. Okay. This is due to what? 10-year inflation or 10-year yields rising, inflation concerns, price moving to the downside. But we're seeing a strong reinjection of buy pressure back into the market. Now, it's important to understand you don't necessarily want to move to the downside or bet short on Tesla. Okay, this isn't a stock you want to be short on for multiple reasons. Reason number one, this is Elon Musk. You don't bet against a guy who sends rockets to space and back at 1/10 the cost of a NASA rocket. Also, we know that, okay, Tesla has a 2-year advantage against all other EV makers. They already went through many of the hurdles, production hurdles, okay, and so forth. All right, we know that Tesla has, their $12,000 very cheap car coming out. We know that their trucks are going to be a huge, massive hit. We know that they have lithium ion technology that they'll be selling to all other EV makers. Yes, it's an expensive stock, but there's room to grow. There's a lot of room to grow. Additional to that, at least here in North America, they're talking about having 100% EV cars on the road by 2040. Okay, so we're only looking to the upside here. We're not looking to the downside. Taking it to the monthly time frame, here's our monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower, daily mid-range. For those of you that are new here, again, just area of buy and sell pressure, battle between buyers and sellers. Okay, so what do we see here? We saw that strong push to the upside. Okay, price reached, a strong number here. We had sell pressure because people, there are sellers that believe that it was overpriced at this point. There was still some buy pressure coming in at our weekly upper zone, but price eventually came back for a strong exhaustion. So this is a higher time frame push, higher time frame exhaustion. But what's important to understand at our weekly lower zone is that there's multiple levels of buy sensitivity. And we can see on the lower time frame that this will be shown as double confirmation. So as we go to the daily time frame, we can see that double confirmation. All right, we see sell pressure take control. We have buy pressure come in at our weekly lower. Interesting, not at our monthly lower, but our weekly lower, showing us a little bit early of an injection from buy sensitivity. We have an impulse move to the upside, right? Why is that? We have buy limit orders, we have stop losses, take profits, stop orders. Okay. Impulse move to the upside. We had sell pressure re-enter at mid-range zone, came back to the downside, but buy pressure said, no. We're not making any new lows. So double confirmation is extremely important because it tells us that we have the impulse plus second injection of buy pressure for then a continuational move. All right. Now, what do we know, team? Whenever there's a failure of a full complete exhaustion, whenever we just see impulse moves, it tells us that buy pressure has control. Here we have a continuational push to the upside after double confirmation. Do we see a full and complete exhaustion? No, we do not. Right. We don't see another move to the downside. What happened here? Buy pressure said, no, we're continuing to the upside. We have a push to the upside, right? What's after a push? Exhaustion. We have price action, entry confirmation with the bullish engulfing candle. If you're not already in this trade, you should be, team. Keep an eye posted for re-entry at the signal channel and as well as the traffic light channel for continuational move to the upside. All right. Moving on from Tesla, we are now going to go to Google. All right, on to Google, or known as Alphabet on the market, okay? They've been doing the best, okay? Google is the biggest winner in tech so far in 2021, 30% increase, whereas other FANG stocks average a gain of only 1.1%, okay? Why is Google doing well? Well, ad sector's coming back nice, also concerns around other tech names. All right. So this is one of the pairs that we're going to talk about where it could be extended going into earnings. Thus, if earnings don't outperform expectation by a substantial margin, we're likely going to see a move to the downside, even though earnings are going to be positive. Okay. So here we are on the monthly time frame, just area of sensitivity. Okay. As we can see, bullish, bullish, bullish. We don't want to be moving to the downside. Where's the current? To the upside. So we're looking for entries where? That's right, only to the upside. So as we take it to the weekly time frame, okay, we can see these zones that we've identified. Again, we're just looking for horizontal area of sensitivity. So resistance becomes support. Okay, resistance becomes support. Resistance becomes support. Alphabet continues to make new ranges. Now, what we have to understand is that this is extended. Price is overbought. I don't need a MACD. I don't need an RSI. I don't need moving averages to know that. Price is overbought right now, which means that earnings have to blow expectations for price to continue to the upside, or else we will likely see some sort of correction to the downside or consolidation before a continuational move. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. As we take it to the weekly, to the daily time frame, excuse me, from the weekly, okay, we can see a level of consolidation, push to the upside, buy pressure protecting the downside, telling us that there is bullish movement, okay? And we do see an extension breaking previous high. Also, we have a formation of some sort of channel here as well. When we take it to the 4H time frame, we can see that. Listen, here at FXG, we're all about zones, but we also respect trend lines, not as much as zones, but we respect trend lines as well. Okay, so we have some sort of channel formation. You don't want to be entering long right now because first off, even if price was moving to the upside without earnings this week, it would be extended due to the channel. Okay, you'd wait for a move to the downside, probably some sort of consolidation before a continuation move. Okay. But also we have earnings, and earnings, as mentioned, have to beat expectations. This is a very good opportunity for sellers to enter for a stop hunt as well. For us, we're going to stay patient on Alphabet. I'm waiting for price to make its way back down to its upper zone before we wait for a reinjection of buy pressure for price action and entry confirmation for a continuational move. All right, Jake, on to you, buddy.
Okay, cheers, David. I'm going to share my screen, and David's gone through the tech sector. And what do we know, team? We know that we are having continuous buy pressure in healthcare as well. So I'm going to take it to one healthcare stock, which will be CVS. Let me just share my screen for you. We always go to the monthly time frame. We always start on that. So what do we know? We know that we've got our daily upper, daily lower zone, 4 hour upper, 4 hour lower zone. What do we see? See this massive move to the upside, exhaustion to the downside, and then we've got our zones here. So what really matters is where price is right now. So we can zoom in. So what do we know? We know that we've got a major area of sell pressure here, but it looks as though price has broken, had exhaustion, and then now we're possibly looking for a continuational move because we have free range as we've broken this zone to our next area of major buy and sell pressure. So we're going to take it to the weekly time frame as we've done the monthly. We have had a previous break here before, move to the downside. That's why we are always going to wait for price action confirmation after the exhaustion of the break of this zone, because I don't want to place a buy limit order here and then price move to the downside. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for me. So for me, I'm going to be waiting for price action confirmation. It looks as though we are having price action here. So what do these pins tell me? Tell me that sellers have tried to push price to the downside, but buyers keep on coming in. So this pin here, sellers tried to beat buyers to the downside, boom, straight shot to the upside. And then again here and here and here. I can see a minor level of sell pressure here. So if we take it down a time frame, this is why we always start on the monthly time frame, team, because then we know where we're going. So I can see minor consolidation here in between our 4 hour zone and this 1 hour zone here. So what I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for a break of here, of this zone, exhaustion, and then continuational move to the upside. Where will our final target be? This will be a very good trade. We can have a tight stop loss on this, but essentially we are looking for a break of this and then a move to the upside to our daily zone. Keep your eye on the signals channel. This will be a quick in, quick out, because once it does break this level, as you can see, once it does break with price action, we're going to have exhaustion. And then because of the sell pressure here, when buyers do beat sellers here, we're going to see a straight shot to the upside pretty quickly. So that is CVS. We're going to move on to Microsoft now, another tech stock. What do we see on the monthly time frame? I mean, it's just straight shot to the upside. Again, push, exhaustion, push, exhaustion, continuational move. We can see now, if we zoom in, price has broken previous high, which is here, identified by our daily zone. So we're going to take it down to the daily time frame. We know that we're bullish on Microsoft. Whoops, daily time frame. So let's see the story of Microsoft. We can see sell pressure here, previous high. Price had exhaustion down to another area of sensitivity. Also its uptrend. The uptrend is an area of sensitivity, but again, zones are more respected. So we see consolidation in between these zones, a break, and we have failed to have exhaustion, haven't we, team? So what does this tell me here? It tells me that there's huge buy pressure in the market. I mean, we had no impulse to the downside here. It was just a straight shot, bullish engulfing candle. It hasn't come down for any minor exhaustion. We just moved to the upside. So let's take it to the 4-hour time frame. What can we see? I'm seeing minor consolidation on the 4-hour time frame. So even though we haven't had exhaustion back to previous high, we have had consolidation, and price has been in here for the past few days. We do have earnings coming out tomorrow, team. So even though earnings might be more than expected, we possibly might see a move to the downside. So this could be a potential to have a buy limit order for a quick in, quick out back to our previous area of sell pressure here. So we know we've got buy pressure here. We know we've got sell pressure here. If we have exhaustion back down to here and we have price action and entry confirmation, quick in, quick out, back to previous high. Keep your eyes on this one, team. This could be a good one for us. Quick in, quick out, lower time frame strategy on this one, and we'll look to the upside on Microsoft. Obviously, after earnings, we'll see what those earnings are, and we will let the charts tell us when we have entry confirmation on this one. And that is Microsoft, team. Now we're going to take it to FX. David, I'll throw it back to you, bro.
Awesome, buddy. Okay, on to the FX finally. All right, we're now going to take it to the largest market. Yes, many of you don't know, but FX is the largest market. We're talking about $5.5 trillion in liquidity. Okay, we're taking it to the largest market. We're going to go over Aussie USD, Euro USD, Aussie Yen. Okay, but first things first, we're going to take it to the membership. We're going to take it to the fundamental direction. This is extremely important. Why? Because with the stock market, how do we identify our fundamental direction other than technicals? Well, we identify which sector is performing the best, and we identify which stocks within those sectors are performing the best. With crypto, we identify what is Bitcoin, what is Ethereum doing, because all the rest of the coins follow that. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum are to the upside, we're looking to the upside on all altcoins. What are we doing with FX? Well, we have to measure how strong and how weak one currency is against the other. And how do we do that? Well, there's some secret sauce there. We also pay for order flow. Okay, we know through the brokers as well how many buyers are in the market, how many sellers. So all this combined is mashed up, and out comes a number. Okay, so right now when we take it to the membership, we see CAD is at a positive 6.5. Why? Because crude oil is moving to the upside. OPEC announced that demand is strong. Canadian dollar is correlated to crude. Aussie Kiwi are to the upside. Why? Because they don't have any virus issues. Okay, and they haven't for a long time. Their economies are up and running. Of course, they rely on other economies, especially the Asian economy and the European economy. However, they're going to see continued strength because they don't have that volatility with spikes. Okay, Swiss franc is at a -1. Swiss franc, yen are the #1 safe havens in terms of currency. Of course, gold is the #1 safe haven overall. However, we're seeing some minor strength in Swiss franc since the yen is at a -4.5. USD is at a -4. Okay, we had durable goods missed. Okay, Europe seeing a positive 1.8. Okay, we had the ECB announced that they bought 31 billion in assets last week from 17 billion prior. So that shows a large increase in assets that they bought, showing optimism, thus strength in the currency. Bitcoin's at a -1.5. We spoke about cryptos earlier, and pound is currently at a -2.3. Okay, so we're going to now take it to the charts. Okay, so now we're going to take it to Aussie USD. What's the first thing we do? Well, first off, we take it to the monthly time frame, then we identify fundamental direction. Currently, Aussie is at a positive 4.9. USD is currently at a -4. Australian dollar stronger than the US dollar. Short-term direction is to the upside. We know that. Mid-term direction also to the upside. I would say our long-term direction is flat. As the USD starts to gain some strength, it may even out with the Australian dollar. Okay, so short-term direction to the upside. Entry only where? That's right, to the upside. Monthly upper, monthly mid, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower. For those of you that are new here, it's just area of battle. Okay, when we take it to the weekly time frame, All right, what do we see here? On the weekly, on the higher time frames, we're just trying to identify the story that that price is telling us. We're not looking necessarily for entry here, right? So what do we see? Buy sensitivity coming in from our monthly lower as expected, push, exhaustion, free range, continuational push to our weekly upper. Let's now take it to the daily. All right, when we take it to the daily time frame, what do we see? Consolidation, which we identified with our 3 lower time frame zones: lower time frame upper, mid, and lower time frame lower. What does this tell us? Remember, when price fails to come back for full exhaustion, it tells us that there's a tremendous amount of buy sensitivity when sell pressure really wants to come back for exhaustion or a significant impulse. That's not happening. Why? Because fundamentals are to the upside. The Australian dollar has air support. Okay, so as we take a closer look here on the daily time frame, we can see that buy pressure is starting to break sell pressure at area of consolidation. Okay, why? Because fundamentals are separated and separated nicely. So what is this, team? This is considered a what? Push to the upside. What's after push? Exhaustion, where then we're looking for price action entry confirmation. Exhaustion will begin at previous high, and we need price action entry confirmation so that we don't enter at a stop hunt. Okay, higher time frame pin, lower time frame stop hunt. All right, the next pair we're going to talk about here is Euro USD. Monthly time frame as usual, fundamental direction next. Euro is currently at a positive 1.8, USD is at a negative 4. Short-term direction we know to the upside as the Euro is stronger than the USD. Short-term direction to the upside, long-term direction, I'll also say flat, just like Aussie USD. As the US dollar starts to gain strength, things will even out, okay? So here's our monthly upper, monthly mid, monthly lower zone. Short-term direction to the upside, we're only looking for entry to the upside. Okay, before we take it down to the weekly, what's the story that price is telling us? Okay, well, first off, we see a re-injection of buy pressure from our monthly lower zone. Okay, as expected, we know that sellers wouldn't have enough strength to the downside. Buy pressure entered, strong push. Okay, buyers broke sellers at our weekly lower zone, free range to our weekly upper, where we see then an exhaustion before a continuational push. Let's take a look at that. Okay, when we go to the daily time frame, we'll take a closer look. Okay, so again, simplification. Buyers broke sell pressure here at our weekly lower, push to the upside. There was a lot of buy sensitivity since price failed to come back for exhaustion at our daily. So here we see sell pressure enter at our weekly upper, and buy pressure is protecting the downside, telling us again a lot of buy sensitivity. This is a range of consolidation. Buy pressure with air support, and we call, as for those of you that are new, air support means fundamental support. Okay, back to the upside. All right. So we have a strong move back to the upside. This is a push. This is exhaustion. What should have happened here? Continuational move. But what ended up happening? We saw some strength with the USD against the euro, especially with virus numbers going up. Okay, there was the AstraZeneca vaccine situation. There was a Johnson & Johnson situation, which essentially meant that Europe's vaccine supply would have potentially become ineffective. It seems like we're over that hurdle, okay? And we are now making new ways to the upside. Buy sensitivities in battle with sell pressure at our weekly upper zone. If buy pressure breaks sell pressure, our weekly upper zone, it's got free range where? Assuming fundamentals stay the same, that's right, to our monthly upper zone. Because let me ask you this. If buyers are able to break sellers at our weekly zone, will it be able to break sell pressure at our daily? Of course, because our weekly is more respective than our daily. But it doesn't mean that it'll be able to break our monthly, okay? So if fundamentals stay the same, free range to the upside, okay, team? So when we take it to 4H time frame, as you all know, because it was posted in the signals channel, okay, just now, here we were waiting for push, which we have, exhaustion, which we have, price action entry confirmation, quick in, quick out, okay, to our daily. But depending on how price moves to our daily and depending on fundamental direction, we may consider to just trail our SL and continue to the upside. All right, Jake is going to now take it to Aussie Yen.
Okay, David, thank you. So let me just share my screen, team, and then we'll get going on Aussie Yen. So what do we know with the Aussie? The Aussie and the New Zealand dollar are consistently strong, mainly due to their travel bubble. They have dealt with COVID very well. They're not really dealing with most of the problems that the rest of the world have. They've got next to zero COVID cases. And what else do we know? The Japanese yen and US dollar, that's why we're pairing these against the US dollar and the yen. they've been consistently weak from our fundamental direction. So we know that fundamentals are to the upside. We know we've got stability in the Aussie dollar, and we know that the Japanese yen is weak. So fundamentals are to the upside. So what do we see? Monthly upper, monthly lower, weekly upper, weekly lower zones. We know that our monthly is the highest area of support and resistance. We know that our weekly is the second and our dailies are the third. So now we know that, we need to know where price is. So price broke its weekly to the upside. We then see exhaustion with this pin to the downside. Buy pressure came in at our weekly. And now it looks as though we're having battle at our daily as well. So we're on the monthly time frame. We're going to take it to the weekly. So what do we see? Again, we see that break. We see pin bars. We see consolidation in between our daily and our weekly. Fundamentals wasn't as strong as they are now. The Aussie dollar has seen a lot of strength in the past 24 hours, and the yen has seen weakness. So we might now have that fundamental support to break our daily zone to the upside. It has broke its weekly, so chances are it is going to break its daily to the upside. So let's take it down a time frame to the daily time frame. We can see major sell pressure here. So even though we have fundamental direction to the upside with the Aussie being stronger than the yen, we need to wait for price action confirmation, break of our daily, exhaustion, and then entry confirmation for a quick in, quick out from our daily lower to our daily upper zone, as our daily upper zone is our next area of major sell pressure. So keep your eyes on this one, team. We are possibly going to get a trade in the next few days on this one. Aussie dollar yen. We are now going to take it to euro yen. So euro yen, again, exactly the same as Aussie dollar yen. The euro yen, there we go. So the euro has seen consistent strength. The euro is a positive 1.8. The yen is a minus 4.5. Fundamentally, let's zoom out so we know where we are. Again, the reason why we always start on the monthly time frame is that if you don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going. So if I dropped you in the middle of like New York City and told you to go to Central Park, you wouldn't know essentially where to go. You need to have a map. You need to zoom out and then track your way to there. So we know that we're going to the upside. And our zones tell us that we've broken our weekly to the upside. What we're going to wait for, we're going to wait for exhaustion to a minor level and then a continuational move. So let's zoom it in a little bit. Let's make it a little bit more relevant. So we know we broke our weekly. We are in free range between our weekly and our daily zone. Possible quick in, quick out now to our daily, as that's our next level of major sell sensitivity. So we're on the monthly. We can take it to the weekly now quite comfortably. We see this push, breaking our weekly, exhaustion at our 4-hour upper, continuational move. So what we're seeing now, price looks to be breaking previous high, which is our 4-hour zone. What we're going to wait for, we're on the weekly time frame, and we already know that we're going to wait for exhaustion and then a move to the upside, quick in, quick out on euro yen. Let's take it to the daily now. Now, we have been eyeing this one for quite a while. We've been in consolidation for like the past month or so. So at the beginning of April, we've seen major sell pressure at previous high. We've seen loads of pins. It's not been very, very pretty for the euro yen. But it seems as though now we've got a clear break of previous resistance, which will now be support. Now, the reason why we like consolidation is because now we have clear direction to the upside. So what we're going to look for, team, we're on the daily time frame. Let's take it to the 4-hour. We have price action confirmation. We are now entering the low volume hours of the market. So what we're going to wait for, exhaustion, 9 a.m. London time, when the most liquidation is in the market. We're possibly going to look for entry confirmation, quick in, quick out to our daily. We've broken our consolidation. So this is definitely going to be on the signals channel. Keep your eyes on it. Possibly tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. my time, we're going to see a buy on euro Japanese yen. And that is it, team. For FX, I'm going to take it back down to David, and we're going to do a quick little rundown now.
All right, team, that's it for today. As you know, we're here to what? To specialize in one market? No, we're here to specialize in all the markets. Why? Because they're all correlated in one way or another. The key is to simplify the complicated, find your trend, find your direction, and enter in that direction. Again, we don't want to swim against the current. It's much harder to do so. All right? And if you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to subscribe, press that like button, leave us a comment. That would really, really help. And we will see you all in a couple days.